In my own recovery journey, I reached a point where I no longer desired to use drugs and alcohol. And that was a miracle unto itself. In that place, when you're free from those cravings, and you're now experiencing life, you start to ask yourself different questions. No longer are you asking yourself, how can I get through the day sober? How can I just make it another day? Now, the questions are more advanced questions. How can I engage in a meaningful way in the world? How can I improve the way I'm showing up in relationships? How can I work with the body and maybe move beyond chronic pain? How can I deal with my mind and create calmness and centeredness? Powerful questions to ask. In asking those questions, I realized I had a challenge that no one had ever told me about. No one had ever described. And the challenge was I could feel in a frequency or vibratory kind of way that I was stuck in a force field that I refer to as the frequency of addiction. That addiction was still alive in the cells of my body, in the way my mind operated and the way I showed up in the world, even though I had let go of drugs and alcohol. So this was a profound realization, and it's part of what led to my need, actually my personal need to create Recovery 2.0 and all that we do here. So this force field that I refer to as the frequency of addiction really was a part of let's look at it as a pattern that had been built into my mind and into my body. And in order to heal from that, or in order to break out of the force field, or in order to create a new frequency, or to raise the vibration by which I live, I would have to break out of, change, interrupt the pattern. The technology that helps us to interrupt the pattern, there are many ways to do it actually. The technology that allows us to do this in a very time-tested and effective way is called yoga. That yoga is a pattern interrupt. It forces us to start to turn our gaze inward. It changes the focus of our mind from outward to inward. It changes literally the rhythm of our breathing. We begin to become more flexible in mind and body, more mobile, more vitality, more strength. And the way that we see ourselves and the way that we see the world and interact with it changes completely. That's what's meant by this idea of breaking out of the frequency of addiction and finding true freedom. True recovery requires that we break out of this force field fully. And I'm grateful today that I had this experience of stuckness and had the love and support around me from amazing teachers and people that could guide me to solutions to this problem so that I could interrupt the pattern, break out of the conditioning that had created so much stress, so much pain and challenge in my life, so that I could experience freedom. Get to live in that place, and then pass that on. And that's why Recovery 2.0, and that's why we're here. And that's what's waiting for anyone who picks up this toolkit and goes down this path of discovery with us.